Over the Ditch is back. Thank you very much to my sponsors, Breckon Farms, Woodlands, Yabby Farms, Aldebaran Park, and also the Patterson Group for looking after me when I say New Zealand. And I am rapt to be catching up with Kimberly Butt, Group 1 winning Reigns lady. Firstly, thank you very much for joining me, Kimmy.
That's right. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Nice ring to it, Group 1 winning.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty happy about that one.
I would imagine you would be. We talk about freeze frame. We'll touch on it. I want to find out a fair bit more about you, if you like, in this interview. But on one of the biggest stages as well. So it must have been just a huge thrill for you, to one, get a winner on that day, I would imagine. But then, for it to be a Group 1 race is just phenomenal. Anyone wondering, Kimmy's behind the leader. Already done a couple of moves there, but on a little horse for Crown and Christy Delegetti called Freeze Frame. So must have been a massive buzz, Kim.
Yeah, definitely was. Like you say, just even having a drive on Cup Day is pretty cool. And then, being able to stick on one and get the drive in the Group 1 on Cup Day is even cooler. So, it was literally just a dream come true. And, everything that had to fall our way did. And, the wee fella, he stuck the head out when it mattered and got the job done.
He does stick the head out. He just looks so brave, Kim.
Yeah, definitely. He, I said to someone after the race, like, he just wanted it. He's just a true wee better's delight, and he knows when it's race day, and you just couldn't ask any more of him.
No, I've driven a few winners, never a Group 1 winner or anything along those lines, but I remember my first win, actually. I thought, I'm going to win this. But I reckon there was a lot of times in races where you just said, yeah, I've got this race. And it could be 500 from home. It sometimes could be, the last couple of strides. Did you get that vibe from him in that race?
Not particularly, but it was such a hotly run race. And obviously I was following a horse like Jamal, I never really expected to run him down. He's gone phenomenal himself as well. And, they never really backed it off a lot. The moment they did, I got round and, we got into the trail, but they were still humming the whole time. So we never really got a chance to jump right up on the bit and, travel like a giant or anything. They were just flat sticks. So around the bend, I thought we're going pretty good, but I knew how good the two in front of me were. So, I was hopeful without being confident.
It's actually not a tricky angle, Addington, but the TV makes it a little bit of a tricky angle. Did you think on the line you'd won?
Again, probably more hopeful than confident. I thought I thought halfway down, no, I sort of felt John was in front, but as the line got closer and the wee fella just keeps sticking the head out further and further, and on the line I was hopeful I had, but I wasn't sure.
When you found out, can you describe that emotion?
Probably not on your show.
No, you don't have to worry on mine, that's for sure.
It was definitely a holy shit moment. It was just probably shock and a whole lot of shock and excitement, and a lot all at once.
Were you on your own at that time, Kim, when you found out, or like what?
No, I pulled up with Sam Otley and John Dunn, and John said, "I think you got it," and Sam said, "The camera's on you." So, when we pulled up and turned around, I heard Matt Cross over the loudspeaker say something about a family affair. So I thought, that's possibly me. And then when I come back in, Brittany, I'm pretty good friends with Brittany, and she was there sort of smiling and coming up to me and gave me the big hug. So all happened pretty fast.
Yeah, I would imagine it would have been very surreal for a fair while, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. It was, I think even Brittany said, "You got it." And I said, "Did I really?" Like it was almost disbelief.
Yeah, which is, I think that's, what it meant a lot to you. So you probably would have been, I don't know the right way to put this, but were you hoping, excited? Were you trying to believe that you'd won it? Or were you just trying to keep all your emotions in and just wait for the numbers, if that makes sort of sense? Yeah.
Yeah, sort of just, I didn't want to get too excited or anything until it was confirmed. And yeah, just, I don't know, it was just a cool moment. It was awesome.
I think the great part about the drive, Kim, I could show that whole race, but I want to interview you and about that race. You made a very tactical move mid-race, and it was a brave move as well, because as you said, the speed was on. It wasn't like, if you watch that last 400 metres of that race just then, it's, she's behind leader, she's got the soft run and been able to get there. Even that, to drop back in, like Jamal's brilliant horse, he was phenomenal on that occasion. He'd done so much work. You were brave enough and trusting, him to get you at least to the sprint lane. You probably would have been hoping he had dropped off with 50 to go, but I mean, you done so many moves. It wasn't a fluky Group 1 win. You drove that winner, and your drive got that horse across the line.
Oh, thank you. But I said to someone on that night, like, I did what I did, but I only did it because I had the horse to do it. It was a whole team effort to get the horse there, and there were just little things that fell my way. The horse I was following, when we won at Ashburton, and he held me up a bit. Then he was in the trail and I was through fence, so I knew from that I didn't want to be following that horse pretty much. And Carter and Sam had, they'd done a lot of work. They made it pretty hard on each other, so I knew if I could whip around quietly at the right time, hopefully, either something else would come, or I didn't expect to sort of drop the trail like that. Fugitive was in the trail; he's a super horse, and but when he started dropping off down the back, it was then I thought, I'm going to be able to drop in here. And like you say, Jamal's such a good horse, and I knew he was going to get me to where I needed to be. So yeah, everything that fell our way did.
Yeah. I've known you for a long time, not as long as a few others. I'm sure we'll touch on Matty Markhams and those guys later on, but you are very humble, and I think what you just said then is very humble, because, I do think if you sit back and have a look at what you actually did, you did everything right. And yes, you're on the best horse on the day, but you did everything right to make sure that the best horse on the day got across the line first. So I think, and that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a fluky Group 1, let alone on a big stage with a lot of people. So you're humble. You're even looking down there. You're like, I need somewhere to hide, Paul. I don't like compliments. But you're on a big stage. You're on a big stage. There's so many people. There was so much on that day, and just the way you executed everything, I think, was outstanding. I don't expect you to answer that, because I know you won't want to afterwards. You said there before about it being a family affair, Cran and Chrissy. And if people don't know, the Butt family, the Joneses, the Dalgettis, they're about to be coming boiled with the Butchers. They're all going to start coming everywhere. You said about a family affair. It's such a big family, though. It must have been so cool to come back and have so many people congratulating you after the race, because you have so many people around you.
Yeah, 100%. Like Chrissy, she's my dad's sister, so we've always been very close, and been a very close family. So I haven't driven a lot for them, so, and just circumstantial, it was just the way things worked out. And so to have, first off them to come back to, and up a video coming back and through the barn, and that was probably as humbling as ever. Just the whole community, and the whole industry, whether related or not. You say it time and time again, you become a big family. You spend so much time together, and seeing how happy everyone else was, for me and for the Dalgettis and the horse. It was a very cool experience.
Johnny was there right on the scene afterwards as well, and I think that was great just to see him come up and cuddle. He's a man of few words. Did he say much to you, or did he just sort of say well done and go back to his horse?
He had only just got there actually. He had a drive early in the day, and then whipped home to get Pin Seeker, so he actually watched it in the truck on his phone. But he got in there pretty quick, after the race, and gave me a big cuddle and, said he was proud of me and that. So, no, it was very nice.
Which is big from Johnny because he doesn't say too many other words. So, when did it sink in for you, Doc? Like afterwards, you said, and I saw some photos. You went out for drinks and that. Did you get a time before Friday to sort of sit back and let it all sink in a bit?
Yes and no. Like we come home, I watched replay once, when I got home, and then it was still a little bit. A lot of people sort of texting and ringing and coming to see me at the races and stuff. So even then, it's still like, oh yeah, I did do that. That's right.
Yeah, you did, and they'll never take that one off you either. So I think it was awesome. One of the great scenes or photos I think I saw put up was when Dad won the same race. It was the Woodlands Sire Stakes. When Dad won the same race, and you were a young girl, and that was one thing that did kick home to you, that you'd actually been able to follow Dad's footsteps.
Yeah, well, I actually text Maddie, Markham, and Mary and Dad after the race, and I sent them the photo of when I walked out. Stunning colour when it was a 3-year-old race, but the same race on Dad won on him, and then sent the photo of me, Chrissy, and Cran, and said, "This is me winning the Sire Stakes final." So it was, it was pretty surreal. And you grow up watching Dad and Tim, do what they do, and you sort of just hope to sort of get that I've won a race on Cup Day like he has. Is pretty cool.
Had you ever won a race on Cup Day?
I don't know if I have. Definitely show day.
Yep.
But no, I'm not sure about Cup Day.
Yeah, it must have been pretty special. Like it's the day everyone wants to win a race.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, growing up in Canterbury and Christchurch, Cup Week's just the biggest week ever, and has been for as long as I can remember. So we've got, and to win a race, any race is awesome. Yeah.
We've got a little lag in the audio, but it'll be okay. People will still be able to hear it, but there's a bit of a delay. I think it's the internet, and it could be you, could be me, could be anyone, but that's
possibly,
okay.
Yeah.
That part doesn't matter. I think, trying to get these interviews out, what I want to do. Your season, Kim, this actually now is your best season. That actually gives you the most wins for a season as a driver.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, no, I was just saying, is it all good now?
Yep. No.
Yeah. So that win ticked me over to best season I had since my last year as a junior. So that was a pretty big thrill too.
And about 100 drives less. Like, you're having a great year.
Oh. I hadn't looked at that part, so that's cool.
No, that was one of the, even last year, I think you had 25 wins, I think, last year, and you've had nearly 120 drives more last year than what you've had so far to this stage. So that's got to be enjoyable. I'll double check that, but I'm
yeah. No, I hadn't looked at that part. I knew sort of my best season was 27, and that was as a junior, and I got close last year. So to get over the line this year was pretty cool.
50 less when you last year as a junior. You've had 50 less drives this year than what you did on that occasion. Oh. And last year you had 25 wins, but 340 drives. You've had 225 this season. So that must be very rewarding.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Like, I've been pretty happy. Sort of, the last sort of 3 years have ticked away quite good, and just got, better and better each season. So that's just what I strive for at the start of the year. And no, that's cool to be kicking those goals.
Yep. And prize money is obviously at a record for you as well, which is great when there is prize money. Getting a drive for Chrissy and Cran leading up, like you drove the horse at Ashburton, that must have been a nice thrill. You said you didn't do a lot of driving. Had you done much driving at all for him beforehand?
No, it was only, a handful or so. And just, I think, maybe 12 or 15 drives or something before that. So over the whole career. So to get on a horse like that was a bit of a surprise, but one I'm very, very grateful for.
Yep, and he did the right thing by you on that occasion. And then Were you expecting to keep the drive? Were you hopeful? Were you not sure?
Again, hopeful, not confident. No, I never expected to be fair. Obviously Carter's their driver, so he gets to pick what he wants. And then, we were coming into a week like Cup Week. It wouldn't have well, it wouldn't have surprised me, or it would be fair enough, if they got one of the big time drivers, Luke McCarthy was over, or if Dad was over, or something like that. So no, like always wanted to keep the drive, but never expected to, and would never begrudge them for otherwise.
No, you're too humble. You just make sure they say when they say now about Luke or Ants, you just sort of say no, it's me and bugger off you guys, so it'll be fine. So, but it must be cool, and just even get recognition from those leading stables and put you on horses. Even Ashburton. I mean, Ashburton's a massive day. Like, it's a huge day as it is. So that must be that little bit rewarding for you as well, knowing you're stepping in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, I think it was Magic Monday or whatever they call it. So it was a massive day at Ashburton as well. So to get the call up in that sort of race on that sort of horse, I'm very privileged and very thankful.
You've driven 208 winners now. I think I worked out over 11 seasons. So that must be rewarding, because it is hard in New Zealand to rank up the winners. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is. And I sort of ticked away pretty well as a junior, and then as a lot of people do here, struggled as you lose that junior driver's license, and then obviously got pregnant and had my daughter as well. So definitely had a few quiet years. So to be able to sort of build up and probably be going as good as I ever have is, it's pretty exciting, and I'm very happy.
Do you remember your first winner?
Yes. Forbury Park Severe Patrol for Mark Jones.
That's exactly right. I checked that out. It's amazing the stats you can actually get here, and it goes back to that family, Mark Jones, and I think Timmy put you on. I think like nearly your first 10 winners were either for Mark or Tim, and I think it actually alternated when I was looking at it. It was quite cool. But so to have that family support must be great for you.
Yes, I've always been very lucky. I started working for Mark Purdon, but I was working for Mark Jones when I started driving, and he gave me a lot of opportunity and put me on some nice horses, and I learned a lot when I was there driving. And through the years, I've been very lucky in the people that I have worked for, and been given some great opportunities. So I'm very lucky.
Is it, like I say about it being a big family in New Zealand, there are so many people that everyone knows everyone, if you like. Is it advantageous to have the surname of Butt, especially back when you were going? Like, probably we won't go that way. We'll leave that part alone. But actually, Facebook might even block it as soon as I put Kim Butt up, because whenever I do anything with Dad, I have to tell him that it's his surname. But is it advantageous to have the surname of someone so well revered and respected in the industry, and especially when you were going, like Tim and Ants were at their halcyon days, if you like, and even Mark going there? Was that advantageous to you, or was it a bit of a hindrance?
Honestly, both. Different aspects were better. Were good. It was good in some respects, and then it was hard in others. Having that pressure, and people sort of expecting you to be Mark or to be Dad, or things like that. But it definitely helps in terms of like connections, and people know who you are when I rung up, and things like that. So yeah, it definitely played a big advantage. But Dad and Tim, they left pretty early on in my career. I think Dad was there for maybe my first season of driving, but after that, he had moved to Australia. So he was still on the phone, after every meeting and every week and that. So he was still a big help. But it wasn't as easy as it probably sounds on paper.
No, and that's why I asked it, because there is a lot of expectations that you just come out, win races. You win Group 1 races. I think, they would probably be the expectations with a surname like that.
Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of people you're coming through and you say, oh, they're just learning, but sometimes I felt like I didn't get a chance to just be someone learning. But hey, it worked out well for me in other ways as well. So
Yep.
you take what you get.
No, exactly. Did you have goals, Kim? I'm sure they've changed because you've now got your daughter, but when you started out, did you have goals?
Not particularly. And it's probably one of those things I probably definitely took things for granted, a wee bit, like having a last name like Butt and things like that. So if I wish I knew what I knew now back then, just in terms of life and driving. I'm sure everyone's the same, but yeah, I just wanted to keep improving all the time, and still do. I just want to be better all the time.
Well, you're doing that. I mean, your strike rate says that. You've just won a Group 1 race. You definitely are doing that. Do you have goals now that would reflect around your daughter, I would imagine, as well? And, if Johnny's listening, hopefully it reflects around Johnny a bit as well. But do you have goals now? Do you want to travel? Do you want to, or are you happy as a mum?
In terms of goals, probably not. I had little things like winning my 200th and winning a group race and then winning a Group 1, and I've managed to tick them off. And now I've taken up a part-time job with Harness Racing New Zealand to just get a better work-life balance and spend more time with Mackenzie, my daughter. So the goal now is to keep going as best as I can, but the main priority is Kenzie and my family.
Yep, which is exactly what I said there at the start. You're very humble and very yourself and Johnny. We had a lot of fun over at the Vincent Delaney Memorial 2 years ago. Now, you enjoyed that driving. I think you'd been in America. You'd been there with Dex and those guys. Overseas drives, is that something you'd like to do, Kim?
I'd never say no. Definitely would love to, but it's not a that's something I have to do or something I need to do. If the opportunity arises, I'd grab it with two hands, but it's not something I'm setting out to do right now.
You need to go back to VDM because Tier Prince is very different to Wolverhampton. I can tell you that. It was on for young and old, and you'd fit in very well, I reckon. You had to be very aggressive with the elbows out. That is for sure. And
good.
Anyone watching it is a great trip, and we encourage people to go because there are a lot of great people, but it's a lot of fun. But you meet people for life, don't you? People you just would never know.
Yeah, 100%. And it was the same thing. I'd watched Dad go and Dex go, and thought, oh, that would be cool one day, and everything lined up for us to go 2 years ago. And yeah, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. And so Johnny, on his way home, he was already looking up flights for the next year, but just the way things were going here, we couldn't leave. But yeah, we'd definitely love to get back.
Next year, we're staying at the Titanic Motel, I believe. I shouldn't say we because I haven't officially been invited yet, but I believe that it'll be at the Titanic Hotel for 3 days, so which will be very, very special.
Cool.
But if you could drive anywhere in the world, where would you like to have one drive?
Definitely America, the Meadowlands. We went there with Lyle Creek when I was a kid, and like you say, we went for a week before we went over to the VDM last year and just had a look around and watched Carter when he was over there, actually. So, yeah, I think just there or, somewhere like Sweden or Europe would be awesome too.
Have you ever driven in Australia?
Yes, yeah.
Had a winner?
Had a handful of drives for... No, I don't think so. I think I ran second on a couple for Lauren and Shane Tritton, but never managed to get a winner.
We'll have to get you back over here and get you a winner. You actually ran second. You ran second in the VDM too, so which was pretty third. Did you run
third?
Third, yeah. Sorry, took a place off you.
Third, yeah. Right.
You mentioned there before your new role at HRNZ and about life balance. Is that one of the struggles still? Like even though prize money and everything looks like it's up in New Zealand, the industry can eat you up a little bit. And is that one of the great things about getting that little bit of a part-time job to break things up a bit?
Yeah, definitely. We're still not as busy as, in Australia. You guys race sort of 5-6 times a week. We were only 2 or 3 here, but it was more just the early mornings getting up to go to the stables and stuff. Whereas now I get up with Kenzie and take her to school and come home, do a heat or two with Johnny, and then go into work. So just a bit of a slower pace, and just that bit more time with Kenzie.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, love it. It's sort of the best of both worlds, still get to work my horses around here, and but then sort of get a bit of an outlet, in the office. So yeah, no, it's going really well so far.
Have you found yourself seeing the industry from a different light, and some of the struggles and that by taking this role?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you get to see the other side of it, and a lot of the decisions from a industry perspective, you think why, or how'd they come to that? But then when you see the ins and outs of it, and there's always a bigger picture. I think that sort of goes for anything in life. We easily get caught up in the way we see things, or what works for us. But more often than not, if you take a step back and look at the whole picture, there's usually more avenues, or more. I'm not sure the word for it, but there's more than the reasoning that you think.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm in that same boat, and I was always huge when they were saying they're going to ban the whip. I'm like, you can't ban the whip and things like that, but we need to modify it. We need to change it to be socially acceptable, and things along those lines. And even races, and I'll bang on about the Ascent. There was 2 drivers that weren't in blue colours, and they were Johnny Dunn and Fader Waits. Everyone else had blue, predominantly blue in their colours. And I just think as a marketing thing, which you'd be aware of, one, it seems silly because you'd be able to get so many more billboards out there, but also it's hard for people to distinguish which horse is which. And I know, talking to the Kiwis, they're not big on changing their colours. They even hate putting a funny hat on so people can see the difference, don't they?
Yeah. It's probably, one of the negatives of the industry, and, we're all bad for it, is, we hate change, but sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and see it for the good of the future of the industry, more than anything.
You said there before, Kimmy, about life changes and that you're not giving up driving, you're not walking away from the sport anytime soon?
No. My brother kept telling me that when I took this new job, I was going to be retired, but I had to win a Group 1 to shut him up.
Did it shut him up? Because if it did, that's a big effort.
Yeah, so no, it was a bit of a joke for a while, but no, definitely don't want to retire from driving, anytime soon. So we'll keep chipping away.
Oh, I think you should, and I think it was great to see it. The horse with the Joneses, I can't think of the name of the bloody thing that's left me. You've been the trotter. You've done a mighty job on her.
Eurostyle.
Yeah. She was awesome. It was able to help you and showcase what you can do. But I think a lot of people need to go back and, if you're listening to this, go back and watch that race, because the girl can drive. That is for sure. We mentioned him a couple of times. Over the Ditch was actually started with the great man, Matty Markham. How was he afterwards? Because he's one of your staunchest supporters. I know you guys do have a funny relationship from time to time, but how was he afterwards? I was listening to him on the coverage, and he was very controlled, but I would imagine he possibly was a touch emotional.
Yeah, no, he was elated as well. He, come give me a big hug after, and yeah, I wouldn't be here without him and Mary's support. They've been through a lot with us, so they're our best friends, and yeah, they were very excited for me as well.
Yeah, no. Kim, thank you. Loved having a chat. There was a little bit of an audio glitch a couple of times, but that's unfortunately the internet, and that's how it does work. But it doesn't matter. It was just great to get it. Congratulations on winning your Group 1 for a start. But thank you for joining me as well. I really do appreciate it. And it's Over the Ditch. I'm changing it up. We won't be doing form. I'm sick of doing form and talking about beating runners and things like that. I just want to try and showcase people like yourself, parts of the industry that we need to get the message out there. And great stories. And there's been some terrific ones. And I think that's the one part about this industry. There is so many great stories, and that's going to be your challenge, I would imagine, in your new role, is to get these great stories out there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's at the end of that, it's horses and it's people that we're here for. Like people love hearing about people that maybe they don't hear about that often, or the background of horses or anything. So I think it's if we can keep a sort of personal touch to the marketing of racing, it'll be a big help.
Just quickly before I do let you go, you've given me a question there. You are a shy person. You are reserved. In your new role now, in your front of camera, you've got to talk. Do you understand now about the participants and the role we play in trying to improve our sport and get it out to a broader audience and a bigger audience?
Yeah, definitely. Like some people are really good at talking and some people aren't, but it's something we need to improve on. And I think our communication has gone a long way, and we need to bring that to the forefront of marketing and promotions as well.
I think the saddest part is some of the bad ones, as you say, they're not actually bad. They're just shy, so they don't want to. They're worried about. Some people worry about making themselves look silly and that, but they won't. But they're the stories we need to tell. They're the people like Cran won't mind me saying this. I love talking to Cran, and he'll give you a story every time, but you'll get that story from him. We need to find the people behind the scenes that we don't know about, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I think we don't want to just be covering, the big stables or the big drivers all the time. You want the young ones and like say the quiet ones, or the ones behind the scenes too. Workers, staff, the whole lot. It all deserves a chance to get out there.
No, absolutely. Kimmy, thank you very much. Congratulations.
No, thank you very much for having me.